right, y'all. Hopefully, if everything is the way it's supposed to be, you guys can see us and hear us. Let me know, one way or the other. Randy Young here along with Brian Davis and Jamie Majors as we are going to take a look at Thomas County Central and Woodward Academy, 2023 Class 6A State Championship, and we appreciate you guys being with us as we get ready for the first state championship opportunity for Thomas County Central since 2002. And of course, the last time we won it, 1997. So it's been a while. What's even crazier is the last time Woodward was in a state championship game was 1980. So it's been a while. Welcome, guys. Brian.
Hey, feels good to be here.
Jamie?
Awesome, man.
You good?
I love it.
Awesome.
We're getting positive feedback from Facebook already that people can hear us, people can see us. So all has gone well so far.
That's good. Now, if you're on YouTube, again, I assume that's Obadiah. If you'll let us know, can you see us? Because we can't see anything. We can see the comments, but we cannot see a thing. So hopefully, you guys are able to see us on YouTube as well. We want to thank the folks who are helping to make tonight possible. First off, CNS Next, now offering internet speeds up to 1 gig, well as traditional phone, television, telecom services. They are your proud local service provider. Curls Land Development, site prep, ponds, land clearing, mulching. Matt Mills is your contact guy if you need some help there. They are proud Yellow Jackets, 221-2291, 221-2291. Next Gen Window Tinting. You guys know this guy, Grayson Tootin.
Absolutely.
Sounds like he's part of the family, basically, James.
Absolutely, man. Grayson, super young man. He's just started his business out, so if you can get by there and for all your tinting needs,
there you go.
He'll take care of you.
692-9393, 692-9393. And then Jason Lewis Insurance, business, home, or vehicle. They're hometown folks. Jason Lewis with Lewis Insurance. Okay, good deal. Yeah, they are letting us know that you guys can see us and hear us. It is an exciting time to be a Yellow Jacket. Of course, we come off the big win against Marist, and now we get ready for the opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, we've been a generation having not been able to get to this point. We've come close a couple of times, but just not able to quite follow through on it. But this time, the table is set for some very, very special things. And we thought what we might do, if you guys have got questions, you can post them on the chats on Facebook and on YouTube, and we can see the chat on YouTube, and then Brian will take the questions from Facebook, and we will discuss them as best we can. But we thought what we might do is do a quick season recap and kind of look back at each one of the games and what we remember about them. And Jamie, I'm going to just say this. I think we all kind of had a feeling that this had the potential for something special after we went up there and played Cook County in that preseason scrimmage. Everybody was talking about how good Cook County was going to be this year. I mean, again, they were one step away from the state championship, and we went up there and played really, really well, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Absolutely. We had a great game plan, and you could just tell the guys hadn't lost a step since we played a very good Perry team in the spring, which is playing for a state championship this week, next week too. And it felt really good. Coach Rogers and his staff, these kids have bought in, and they'll run through a wall for him. It's a special time. We've got special coaching staff, and we got special kids. So
thanks for watching from Chicago. Cook County, Illinois, class of 1999 there. Brian, I think we walked out of that stadium that night up there in Adel thinking this defense was going to be something to behold, because we knew Cook County had a lot of offense and they didn't do anything against us.
What was really surprising to us, I think, we took back was how we played so well in a preseason scrimmage. We were ready for it. We were ready to play. We brought energy. We brought physicality to a scrimmage. And that kind of set the tone that this team had a lot to prove after the previous season, that that this wasn't a fluke, that we were here to stay. And this has obviously been the case. They come in headstrong, ready to play, and they just did a phenomenal job.
They looked polished.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
and
For a preseason, that's so odd.
Yeah.
But what, and Jamie can hint on this, the 7-on-7s in like your earlier preseason scrimmage with Perry, that stuff pays off.
Well, and I'll go you one further, Jamie. One of the teams that we scrimmaged against in that preseason 7-on-7 stuff was Coffee County. And our guys, again, acquitted themselves very well. And Coffee County went into the season feeling like they were a favorite to win a state championship, and they're playing for one.
Absolutely. Coach Rogers likes to scrimmage folks, and he likes to knock heads with folks that he feels like is going to make us better. And if you'll notice, a lot of the company that we keep was right around the state championship, like would play in Brooks and Perry and Cook. I mean, all these were semifinalists and stuff like that. It's been amazing what we've been able to accomplish, especially when we had a special class of athletes that graduated last year, and then to go to Perry in the spring and say, hey, let's see what our sophomore quarterback is going to be like, and
He showed out.
all that just was so seamless on how those guys were able to take over their spots, and it was just like next man up, let's go.
Well, we started off with Cairo, and of course, Cairo's Cairo. They're going to be good, and we dominated that game.
38-0.
Yeah, and could have been much worse. I mean,
Right.
we pulled everybody in the third quarter, and you kind of felt like, okay, we got a shot at something pretty special. Game number 2.
Thomasville 45-7.
Yeah, and I mean, other than one Cole Shaw touchdown, which again, that kid's a player.
Absolutely.
He got around us, and there wasn't anything going to catch him. But it was another dominant performance, and the Yellow Jackets were on their way. Game 3.
Bainbridge 45-14. And this is, to me,
Yep.
when the feeling set in of, okay, these boys are ready to they're here ready to play.
This is legit.
And they're bringing it every game, because that Bainbridge team is really, really good.
Yep.
And we went over to their place and just really pretty much dominated the whole game. That defense was unreal that game.
That game, though, was closer than the score
Right,
indicated.
right.
Because we had, I think, about 60 yards difference total. But the difference in the game, Jamie, our defense bowed their back every time Bainbridge had a scoring opportunity.
Absolutely, and they had a couple players over there that were just lights out.
Yeah.
We were able to
Keenan Phillips,
contain
my
them.
gosh.
Keenan Phillips, a great running back, and their quarterback, man, what a player.
Yeah.
And we were able to contain those guys and walk away late in that football game. And at that time, you said the whole time, hey, this will be our test. This will be kind of see where we're at. And you went over there and you passed the test with flying colors, and we was introduced to the Bainbridge Seagull.
The War Seagull.
That is one memory for anybody that was there that will carry on, is that seagull attacking everybody. I have never seen anything quite like it, and doggone Brian was trying to get him to come in the press box with us.
I was just waiting to see what was going to happen if he did come in there
I'm
and see
going
what
out.
you were going to
No,
do.
I'm leaving.
He
at that.
landed on Malachi's shoulder.
He
pad
did.
at the game.
He did.
Might have anointed him somehow or another.
So,
of course, Jamie was about to go fry him up.
I asked Malachi, I was like, man, is that your buddy? I mean,
And of course, we get into region.
Yeah. Well, we play Gabe.
Well, of course, that was Gabe.
And at the time, they scored the most points out of everybody.
Yeah.
And then so you get in the region, you make the trip up to Perry to play veterans at Perry Stadium.
yeah.
And that game, we knew their offense was, had some weapons and things, but the way we shut them down was just impressive.
Well, and unfortunately, the quarterback, who was Jake Maxwell, who's a fantastic player for him, got hurt. And at that, of course, we were well in control of it before that happened, but that pretty well sealed it. And we run through the region schedule, but the gauntlet was coming toward the end of the year. And we knew that last 3 games there with Houston, Lee, and Northside were going to make us or break us. Jamie, we go up there and play Houston with Antoine Hill, who's one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the country, and we shut them out 27-0.
Absolutely. That's the one that really turned my head as far as
The
I figured
defense.
they were going to get theirs.
Yeah.
And it was going to be I figured it was going to be tight, and the game was tight. I don't want to sit here and we dominated them defensively, but we couldn't get much going offensively because we missed so
Yeah.
many shots.
Yeah. Yeah.
We missed 4 scoring
Well,
opportunities.
even if you execute on half of your drop passes in that game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you that's
We
two
pull
more
away early.
touchdowns.
It's a 42-0 game
Right.
at that
Yeah.
point.
So, but after that, I said, okay, I think any kind of brawl we get into, I'm
Right.
I'll stand behind our defense.
And then, Brian, the Lee County Trojans come in with Usmane Chroma, and that was a old-fashioned NWA main event type game.
That feeling of that game was
It's like a state championship.
well. It was different than last year's game because I think Lee County kind of last year didn't have a whole lot of faith in you.
Yeah.
Because
The
they
respect.
they had no reason
Yeah,
to.
the respect factor
But
on
all
that.
of a sudden, we earned their respect really quick last year, and then this year they come in
Yeah.
to pay respects. And that game, it was just a war. I mean, just back and forth, and Cromart's going to do what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But your defense again limits what he gets.
Yeah.
And pretty much, it goes down to the wire. But your defense and your offense executed when they needed to, made some really good plays. And that game right here, to me, that was when you knew, okay,
It cemented it.
We have got a legitimate shot to go all the way to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think everybody walked out of that stadium that night kind of thinking, okay, this is for real.
Yeah.
And then you have Northside come in, and Northside's Northside, but we took care of that one in fantastic fashion. Let me remind everybody, again, if you've got a question, please post it in the chat on YouTube and on Facebook, and we'll try to get to those. We're going to have Coach Rogers joining us in about 20 minutes or so, and we'll talk to him. What you got?
Brent Matthews asked if this podcast, or if it was brought to you by Seven Brew, since I'm drinking a Seven Brew coffee. No, I paid for that one. They didn't give it to me. This is not sponsored by them. The only thing sponsored by it was my money that bought this drink. I
Well,
promise you.
again, we want to thank CNS Next, Curls Land Development, Next Gen Window Tinting, and Lewis Insurance for helping to make this possible tonight and bringing this to all of the Yellow Jackets all over the world that are watching tonight. I do want to say again, Corey Brown made the comment that he's disappointed we cannot have the noisemakers in Mercedes-Benz. Now, and let me say this, and this is what I've been telling everybody. Based on all of the experiences that I have had in Atlanta, of course, it's been a while since we've been in this position. They're very strict with their rules going in, but once you're there, it's not quite the way it was sold beforehand. If you've got those foldable horns, I get the long horns being a possible issue. It's like having an umbrella in the stands. I mean, you're talking about poking people in the head and bumping people and so forth. And the mechanical the mechanical horns that the guys are bringing, okay, that's going to be an issue. But if you've got those foldable horns, that's going to be tough to police. And they might, I don't know. I'm just saying that's going to be difficult to police for what that's worth, and that's all I'm going to say.
I'm used to hearing them, so I'm hoping that.
Yeah,
I hope we bring.
I
them.
think there's going to be some one way or the other. Terrence Cromwell asked, "Do you feel that Woodward can do anything to us offensively or defensively that we'll have a problem with?" Terrence, I will tell you this: based on what I am picking up from our coaches, they feel like this is kind of a mirror image of us. They have a strong offensive line. They have talented, skilled people. The difference in this particular team, though, they're a two-headed monster with their quarterbacks. They have a pure pocket passer, number 7. I do not know his name. I guess that's Griffin Marshall.
Yeah, that's him.
Griffin Marshall is the pure passer. And then Landon Walker is a junior who has come in off the bench. He wears number 17. He is a threat to run. And I think our coaches are concerned, Jamie, about the threat of him being a home run from that quarterback slot, running the ball more than throwing the ball.
Absolutely. When 7's in the ball game, we got to identify him.
Well, 17's the runner.
Oh, 7. When 17's in the ball game,
Yep.
we got to identify him because he's got game changing
Yep.
speed. So and he can throw it now.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I was about to say. In fact, I took the breath to say what's interesting about those two guys is Griffin Marshall, who is the passing quarterback. He has thrown for 1,188. Landon Walker, who's the runner, has thrown it for 1,127. So basically the exact same yardage between the two of them, and both of them have thrown 13 interceptions or 13 touchdowns apiece. So both of them are very capable of throwing the ball. But thank you, Terrence. Appreciate that.
Billy Guyton asked, have they been hit like we hit? And I will say this, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they've seen a defensive front like we have, and I don't think they've seen a core of linebackers like we got either.
Well, I can tell you this. You can ask the folks at Rome, and you can ask the folks at Marist, and both of those programs will tell you that this is the best defense they saw the whole year. And let's see here. There was a question asked about the away uniforms. The way the brackets were set up, the left side of the bracket were the home teams this year as far as the dome was concerned. We're on the right side of the bracket, and that's how that happened. But we're doing pretty good in those white uniforms. So
Yeah, I like what we've got.
Yeah, we're not going to mess with that.
But Billy Guyton, that's a
Guyton
name question.
Yeah. That's a name.
Guyton question.
Yeah, he's a pretty good wide receiver for us, too.
Nelson Cavanis, we've had several balls tipped at the line in the playoffs against Rome and Marist. I'd like to know if Coach has any more bootlegs to get out of the pocket.
Well, and let's say this, too. I think Rome and Marist were the first two teams this year that physically matched up with our offensive line. And they were able to create some penetration into the backfield. And we're talking a sophomore quarterback here. Now, I mean, he's still learning and getting comfortable in that spot.
Yeah.
But they were able to create a little pressure, and I think it may have rattled him a little bit, Jamie.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected.
I think he's I don't know. There's some mechanical issues.
Yeah.
But I think that they're working on those, and Jalen has, gosh, man, to be in some of the situations that Jalen's been in, to be a sophomore, and to see how he holds himself as a leader for our team.
He doesn't get rattled.
I can't imagine what Jalen will be when he's a senior,
right?
Because he already has some of those leadership skills that you see in a
There's
senior.
a presence about him.
So we got to expect him to still learn. I know that he's well above the curve on a lot of the stuff that he's done, but he's still learning too. He's still a kid, you know. And
here's what's crazy. Charlie Ward Jr. set the passing record for Thomas County Central back in 1987 with 1,891 yards. Of course, Sam Brown broke that last year.
Yep.
Well, guess what? Jalen Johnson's broken it as well. He's over 2,000 yards for this season. So in 2 consecutive years, we've gone, 30-something years with Charlie's record standing there untouched, unchallenged, and now back-to-back quarterbacks have broken that record.
Wow.
Just crazy. Yeah.
Heather Rodriguez asked if their defensive line was better than Rome's, and I think that's not the Rome's defensive line was really good.
Yeah.
They were well coached. You know, they of course they always got their hands up when we were getting ready to pass it.
Yeah.
I think they were well coached, but I think what you'll see here is the difference in linebacker core. It's a little bit better than maybe Rome. So you may not have the defensive line you have with Rome, but Woodward has a linebacker core that's very physical, and they'll load the box.
Yep. I thought that when we beat Rome, we beat a very, very good football team.
I agree.
Well, I mean, two of the defensive linemen, one's going to Auburn, one's going to Clemson, so that tells you something.
Those guys, my hat's off to them, man.
Yeah.
They played just like Coach Rogers told me the week before. He says, these guys get after it like we do.
Yep.
He said, when I look at them, I look at us.
Yep, very similar.
And he was dead on.
Let me, you got something else? Brian?
Let's see. Charles Reese, I think if we can get more play action passes to number 2 down the middle, it will loosen up the linebackers to make our running game much stronger. That's a very good point.
Yep.
You work the pass downfield, make the linebackers start to respect it back up so they can't load the box. And then you can start to work the edges and then eventually work the interior. That's a good point.
If anybody knows about the defensive ball, Charles Reese would be wanting to talk about it there, Jamie.
Mr. 39, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, all state.
Well, he was unbelievable. Charles, thank you for asking that question. I'm sure that we'll do whatever we can to get those linebackers moved out of there because they're very good linebackers. They've got 2 really good ones.
Lakeisha Esther said Rome has had some volleyball players on their team because they batted down a lot of balls.
Spiked them.
Let me grab this. I think we got Coach Rogers here. Let's see here if I can get to him.
Slide up.
No?
Hit your home button.
What's going on here?
Uh-oh.
Now, I'm not sure what just happened. Let me try to call him back.
You call him. We're new to this. I mean,
we're using technology here that Coach, you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, now we got you. Doggone, I couldn't answer it, but somehow I was able to call you back. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
We are live on the air, and we've got a bunch of Yellow Jackets watching us. First off, Coach, congratulations for a fantastic season.
Thank you. Like I say, just want to say thank you to them fans. Shoot, they've been a huge participant in this thing.
Well, before we do anything, I wanted you to have an opportunity, an open stage to talk to those fans and just not only offer them thanks, but challenge them a little bit.
No, ain't no doubt. I mean, our fan, every coach likes to say, we got the best fans and all that. Well, I'll put my fans against anybody's. We can go head to head. You bring yours to the crowd, I'll bring mine to the crowd.
Yep.
See which one's louder. This is just unreal. And we've joked about it, me and you in coaching shows before the game interviews, talking about, almost being like on a rock tour, just going to see everybody. And they have responded, brother. They check it off and take it over, everywhere we've gone. And just the fan support and the biggest thing is that how active they are.
Yeah.
I mean, just how loud they are. It is so humbling. It's so amazing. And it is one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of.
And let me just tell the folks watching, if you've got a question or a comment that you'd like to throw at Coach Rogers, we're going to have him on here for about 15 minutes or so. Coach, if that's okay.
No, you're good. You're
Okay.
good. I'm headed to Atlanta to go to a meeting up there in the morning, so you're fine.
Yeah, we're getting one question here, Coach. When you look at Woodward's team, is there any team that we've played to this point that they kind of remind you of, or are they unique to themselves?
I'd probably say Rome.
Okay.
Because defensively, they're going to be an even front defense. They're going to try to, apply pressure. Their D-line is really, really good, much like Rome's D-line, and their scheme is very similar, not quite the same, but similar. And then offensively, they're going to try to be spread like Rome and spread you out. And the difference is they don't really play up tempo or fast. They're going to huddle. A lot of shifts and motions to get you out balance, but it's all spread based, trying to get speed and space.
Okay. Jamie, you had something you wanted to add?
I just seen that one. I thought that would have been a good one for him.
And also Terrence Cromwell, who says he coaches at Warner Robins. Coach, he said he loves the way the defense gets after the ball. Very aggressive, very disciplined. Don't see that often. And he also said, I love y'all's fan base.
Ain't no doubt, brother. Me too.
Brian, what you got?
Hey, Coach, this is Brian. I'm going to ask you just a question I had this week thinking about it. Of course, going to the state championship is so cool and so unique for some of these kids. And what do you do to kind of – because you can't, basically make them ignore it just to play a football game. What do you do to kind of get them to be in the moment without getting caught up in the moment, if that makes sense?
Keep it. You keep the routine. The routine don't change.
Right.
And so, that's the biggest thing. We still lifting. We still doing everything the exact same way we do it every time. We had kids flipping the tires for being 1 minute late this morning. And so, you don't change anything. And you preach that, we've been preaching it. The problem with so many people is when they get a little bit of taste of success, they feel like they've arrived and they change doing the things that got them there, and so we really preach that you've got here because of your practice habits and the person that you are on a daily basis. You can't change that now. So, no doubt the community's going to let them know, what it is, and they know what it is.
Yeah.
So what you try to do inside the structure is make it, make the walkthroughs, the film, the lifting, the meetings, all that feels the same, and hold them to a standard.
That's awesome.
Yep. Coach, I want to mention real quick, and you and I talked about this week in the Coach's Corner segment that'll run before the game, is the importance of what we did last year and last year's senior class and the contribution that they have made to what we are doing this year. You want to just share that with the fans real quick?
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's you always hear things when you're trying to get something going, to build something great. You always got to lay a great foundation first, right? And so that's what those seniors did last year, is just lay an unbelievable foundation for us. All right. And so they went from the very beginning of the year hoping they could be successful to by the end of the year expecting to be successful. And so we get in the quarterfinals last year, play a very good Roswell team, and had them beat. Flat out had them beat. No disrespect to Roswell, but we made mistakes and lost that game more than they wanted, and just made a bunch of mistakes. But what that did is this year's seniors and that group, everybody talks about believing they could win a state title, wanting to win a state title at the beginning of the year. But this team believed they could. They knew they gave that thing
Right.
away. They knew that they belonged, and they were good enough to win it. So they kind of put that chip on their shoulder, upset the way it ended. But at the same token, knowing good and doggone well they belonged, they were good enough, they could have won it. And so that's a big deal, that belief, right?
Right.
Truly believe, not just say it. I know not the words, but to believe you belong with the best of the best.
Right.
And I truly believe last year that's what got going here, that belief that, yes, you are elite.
And I love the fact that you made the comment to me that whenever you looked at this position, when you were thinking about taking the job, you felt like this was something that could be done quickly, and it has been.
Yeah, I mean, when interviewing for it and getting further down, and contemplating, coming here, obviously you look at the team on film. And so I watched a couple games and stuff like that. And there was great talent on the field. I mean, really good talent. And so you had that. And then after meeting with the administration and seeing the passion that they had from the school board to the superintendent, look, we want to do whatever it takes. We want to give you what you need to be successful. You had great support there. So if you got great players, you got great support, the last piece was trying to put together a great staff. And we put together an unbelievable staff.
Oh, my
just
gosh.
great men. Oh, man, I know, right? Just unbelievable, just killers now at every position.
Yep.
And so once you got that put together, you had a lot of, so I really did. I mean, I felt like it was going to be a lot of low-lying fruit to be able to get this thing back, relatively quickly.
Yeah, and Debbie Murray, Coach Rogers, won a state championship at Griffin as the offensive coordinator, but this is the first time as a head coach that he's had a shot at one of them. So that was a question that was asked. Brian, anything else that we need to ask Coach from any of the fans?
That's what I was scanning through to see.
So, Coach, I guess, again, you guys, part of the team will be heading up Monday, and then the rest of the team heading up Tuesday. Is that the plan?
Yeah, that's kind of been our MO for these longer games is we'll take about 40 kids, ones and twos, up the night before and stay. I mean, just financially, it helps with everything and really organizationally, be able to keep up and monitor correctly the number of kids. And then the rest of the guys will join us the next day for our team meal at the hotel. And we're going to do that there in the ballroom this time, so that way we take some variables out and we'll all head over to the bins.
Gotcha.
D'Angelo Davis asked, Coach, who are your coaching mentors?
That's a great question, man. I like that question. That's good stuff. First one's going to be Tommy Parks. Tommy Parks was the head coach at Harris County. He was actually the DC when I first got hired. We got hired by Jay Andrews. And then Jay Andrews moved on 2 years later. They promoted Tommy to head coach. I was just a young coach, didn't know much, but wanted to be a great coach. And Tommy believed in me and took time with me and encouraged me. Tommy's now passed away, but Tommy Parks meant a lot to me. And then I left there and I went to Griffin. And then two coaches there that were huge mentors for me were Steve DeVorsney and Will Orban. And so Coach Orban was just a great offensive mind that first year. He's in college now, coaches at he was at Eli and he's at Cumberland's. And owe so much to Will for his organization and structure, just learning a lot of the details and understanding that. Will Orban, I got to give him credit. Hope is not a plan came from him. That was a deal. We were in staff meetings one night. We had a quarterback and we were going into the preseason, and he asked me, he said, Coach, what we going to do if so-and-so gets hurt? And I said, well, I hope he don't get hurt. And boy, he hit me square in the eyes and said, hope ain't no plan. Mm-hmm. And I won't never forget that statement. So I've got to carry that with everything else we do. And then the other one and the big one, Steve DeVorsney. Steve DeVorsney was the head football coach there at Griffin and had great success at Griffin. You can go look him up. I mean, multiple Final Fours and all that. And I was there with him, and we were having great success. And after the first year, Will left and went back to college to coach football. And so he had an OC position left. And me and Devo used to run around and go jog together in the afternoons. In the off season, we jogging one day, and Devo looks over at me and we just sitting there just jogging, talking. He said, I think I'm just going to make you the OC. And I said, I looked at him. I said, what, man? I said, I'm good, Devo. I said, you won't go hire somebody now. I'm good. I was coaching the quarterbacks and everything like that. You know, I'm one that I try to be humble. I was like, look, this is a big time job at Griffin. if you want to go hire somebody, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm good. I promise you. He said, nah, you work hard. I can trust you. You're gonna do a good job. You're gonna be the OC. And so for someone to believe in you like that, where I didn't even ask for it, but he just believed in me and gave me that confidence. And my first game ever was against my rival, Spalding. First game ever as an OC. We were playing Spalding in 2011. And that's a big game now. Griffin had never lost to Spalding at the time. We won 3-0 in overtime, baby.
Ooh. That's because of that offensive coordinator is what that was.
No doubt was all of them. We talking about time. I lost my starting quarterback on the opening possession. I had to play a freshman the rest of the way. And that's how I got broke in. So I always tell this story. I was funny, but now Coach DeVorsney was just such a huge mentor. And then, as we got comfortable together and we really trusted one another, he allowed me to do a lot of the head coaching type stuff and organization. I ran the weight room. I did all that. And so, and I remember he would always, hey, what would you do right here? And I said, I don't know. He said, well, just tell me what you think. You want to be a head coach one day? Well, what would you do? And so he let me have a lot of his say.
That's cool.
A lot of input. And I appreciated that. And I hope he trusted me. Like I said, I had two men in my wedding. Jimmy Dudley, our O-line coach here at Central, and Steve DeVorsney. And so he means a lot to me.
That's cool.
And fans would know him because he was the head coach at Cairo before he retired.
Oh, yeah. We know Devo. We know
That's
Devo.
right.
Anything else over there, Brian, from any of the fans?
Just a lot of people, watching. And we're up close to about 200 people right now.
Coach Rogers, I got this is Jamie Majors. I just wanted to ask you, at about what time in your coaching career did you stumble across Coach Thornton? Because he has done an unbelievable job with our quarterbacks.
No, he's good now. I'd coached my own quarterbacks since 2000 and when did I start doing quarterbacks? 07. I guess 07 I started doing quarterbacks for all the teams I played and coached with. And then I stumbled upon Joe in 2019. And so I'm at Moultrie and I'm coaching there. And Joe is actually at Lee County. All right, he's the OC at Lee County.
That's right. I knew that.
And so Joe's OC at Lee County. They come out the gate, didn't start off, like I guess Lee wanted to. And Coach Fabrizio made a change, and about 3 games into the season, relieved Joe. And I knew him and interviewed him at Jones because when I was still at Jones, I had decided I wanted to hire a quarterback coach. Because it just got too much as a head coach, coaching the quarterbacks and calling the plays. Mm-hmm. And so if I was going to get someone to do the quarterbacks, I was still going to call the plays. And I remember we had a mutual friend, Tony Franklin. Tony Franklin, used to be the OC at Middle Tennessee. He was the OC at Troy. He was the OC at Cal with Jerry Goff and all that. And so I reached out to Tony. Did he know anybody? And he said Joe Thornton. Joe was in Alabama and was going to retire because he was a coach at Enterprise and been a head coach at Alabama and wanted to get to Georgia. So I tried to get him to come to Jones, but he wound up going to Lee for more money. And then, a month or two later, I left Jones and went to Moultrie. Mm-hmm. So when all that happened and I heard about it, I called him up. I said, hey, man, I heard what happened, man. I'm sorry to hear that, but, hey, man, I know you're a football junkie. And if you want to get your fix in, why don't you come up here on Sundays and come up here and just, help game plan, things like that, talk ball. Because he had worked with Buck Hansen, who was my O-line coach at Moultrie. And so Joe, being Joe, who just loves ball, started coming on Sundays. And he started coming after school. When he would get done teaching at Lee, he would drive down and just kind of be a fly on the wall and be there.
Uh-oh. May have lost him.
Then
there he is.
I was able to hire him, and Lee let him out of his contract. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. You're good.
Hello?
Yeah, you there? You there, Coach? Yeah.
You got me, Randy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, we got you.
I heard you the whole time.
Yeah, we were hearing you. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you good. All right, and so I was able to get Joe to come full-time in January. They let him out, and he came over, and I let him coach quarterbacks that year. So I gave him the quarterbacks. I kept calling plays in 2020 and had a really good year that year, and he did a great job with Xavier Williams, who had came in, and Xavier's now a quarterback over at UCF down in Central Florida. Mm-hmm. And just the friendship grew, the respect, the trust. And so in 21, my last year at Moultrie, I actually gave up play calling to him. And so he started calling all the plays, and I just kind of kind of help him out, and I'll spot call some plays here and there. And that's where it's been from there on out. And so when I came over here, he's still the main play caller, calls all the plays, coaches the quarterbacks, and I coach tight. But I got to coach a position because I like coaching. So I coach tight ends at Moultrie, and now I'm coaching receivers here. But no, Joe Thornton is he's a quarterback whisperer. He is so good with the quarterbacks. He's such a calming presence for them. And he's a great football coach, but even better human being.
Well, Coach, we were talking a little while ago to illustrate just how effective Coach has been. Yeah, again, you realize that we had Charlie Ward's passing record that stood for 30-something years, and now in 2 consecutive years, 2 quarterbacks have broken it.
Yeah, no doubt. I told Sam last year, I remember when it happened. You know, we were in team meeting, and I just said, hey, buddy, Sam just broke the single season, passing record, yada, yada, yada. And I remember looking at Sam. I said, look, man, you got a couple more games left, brother. You better freaking set it high. I said, I got like 7 quarterbacks that broke that record. And so that's where it is. One cool thing that I am proud of is since 2000, let me get this right. This would be 19, 18, 17, 16. Since 2016, I've had a different quarterback every year. I haven't had the same quarterback since then.
What?
Yes, I have not. My man right here, Jalen, is going to be my first returning starter I've had since 13, 14, 15, 16. 15 was my last returning starter. I had Bradley Honeycutt for 3 years in Jones County. Since then, I've had a different quarterback every single year.
Wow.
And every quarterback was first team all region.
God, that's impressive, Coach. Hey, Ken Hortman is.
Well, I'm fired up about not having to do that again.
Hey, you should be, man, and you got a good one.
Ain't no doubt.
Ken Hortman's asking if the team needs snacks and Gatorade donations for the trip like they did for the Rome trip.
Have you ever fed teenage boys?
I take that as a yes.
We need snack donations 365.
Okay.
Boys can eat, and we're trying to get them as big. There's a reason why they got weight classes in sports, man.
Yeah, you're
we're
right.
trying to get these jokers as big as we can.
What do the folks need to do that want to help with that, Coach? Just email you or something?
They can do that. They can drop it off at the front office of the school, whatever's more convenient for them. But I say that tongue in cheek, but it really is true. I mean, we go through so many snacks. We try to keep food out for them and snacks out for them throughout the day. If you've ever had teenage boys, they like to graze and they're always hungry.
No question.
So we're trying to put as many calories in it because that, we're about to, in the January, move into putting our winter coat on because that summer heat takes it off. So we want to bulk up as big as we can.
Coach, tell our fans how you're feeling about the team and the matchup with Woodward going into it.
I feel like we're in a really good position, for week 15. I think we're still fresh. I think we got good legs under us. Like I say, we're relatively injury free. So you got to love all that. Now, as far as the matchup, I think you got 2 really good defenses going against each other. Probably 2 of the best defenses in the state. And so it'll be a tight ball game, be a field position ball game. First one to 20, probably wins it. And so, we just got to find a way to get those 3 to 24 points. And I think you can go away and be a state champion.
I wanted to share with you, too, that our family doctor I visited with today told me to tell you that you didn't need to worry about going and getting any heart stress tests because if you'd made it through the last 2 weeks, your heart must be really good.
Yeah, old Ticker's doing good. I think all it is why you see all this gray in this dead-gum beard I got.
Oh, I'm with you.
I think that's more what all these games are doing, just turning me gray quickly.
Anything
but at least
else?
I'm holding on to it.
I'm with you. Don't talk about it. You don't want to leave it. I'm right there with you.
That's right.
Coach,
That's right, baby.
Coach, right now on Facebook, the burning question is from Earl Brooks, and he says,
First off, he don't know where Earl goes.
and so what
I
he
hope you're
said,
sitting down. You just sit down.
What he says is, when we win, will you call into the 229 show that following Sunday?
You want me to talk that talk, don't you? Well, I hear you, baby. Hey, yeah, we win. We win this thing right here. We get this state title. I will talk that talk with you, Earl.
There you go.
There it is.
And they're tired of me talking that talk with them is what it is, I think. Coach, and one more thing, and I'm going to let you go. Something that our fans have kind of chuckled about the last couple of weeks. It's unusual to see the head coach get tackled at the end of a football game.
Ron got fired up.
Well,
Hey, we kicked that day kick, and I'm walking out there, And I see Ron, I look over at him, and I was like, I can see he's coming in, so I give him a hug. Like, hey, man, it's awesome. And then my feet got tangled up. Next thing you know, man, we are on the ground, brother. Got a bump on top of my forehead. So we get up. I'm walking on out there, and I'm grabbing my, man, do I have a knot on my damn forehead? And so, no, it was all good, man. That's what makes sports. That's what makes communities. That's what makes things special, you know, is the passion and the people. And you got people that care, man, and they genuinely care.
Yeah.
So, no, it's really cool.
Yeah, he's always said he had one more play in him, Coach, but I just didn't realize it was going to be a defensive play.
Let me tell you something. Now we beat Marist, man. My head was on a swivel.
I told him when we got there, Coach, I said, hey, I'm going to be watching you tonight. Now, don't strike out toward Coach.
Ain't no doubt, man. We won. I looked around. I looked at Coach Boyette, and I was like, everybody seen Ryan?
Well, Coach, we're getting ready
I
to.
felt like one of those, what's that commercial where they had that linebacker that just going around tackling everybody? Yeah, I felt like that Office Max commercial, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to let you get out of here in just a second, but I want you again one more time just to say a word to our fans and again about the excitement and the challenge of going up there and playing in this game.
Here's the thing I got for the fans. It takes what it takes. We're going to do what we got to do to make sure we win this ball game. You believe that? And it takes what it takes. You better do what you got to do to get them horns inside that stadium.
There you go.
Right? I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear none of this. All I want to hear is the buzz of them horns inside of Mercedes-Benz. All right, cheering these boys on. I cannot wait to hear it. Don't be music to me.
The buzz of the swarm.
Yep.
Ain't no doubt, baby.
Coach, thank you so much for taking a little time with us, and we're going to try to come back next week, regardless of what happens. And after the win, we'll come back and do another wrap up. If you're able to join us, that'd be great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, and go Jackets.
Amen. Thanks, Coach. Coach Justin Rogers, who has, again, just done a fantastic job. He's come in here to this tradition-rich program, and he was talking to me yesterday, kind of off the record, and how from afar, even when he was coaching at Jones and coaching at Harris, there was always a little sense of envy when he looked at Thomas County, because he knew that there was a championship tradition here. And as he puts it, what else can you do as a high school but have national championship type players with Charlie Ward, Heisman trophies, guys like Ray Drew and Adam Choice and Austin Bryant, and these guys that, they're like centerpieces to high school sports, and all the state championships and everything. He said, how could you not want to be a part of that? And that's just special. That's just
Absolutely.
special.
Well, to me, what separates us from what you see today is the fact that our guys are coming from our county.
Yeah, and
They
our
are
families.
from our backyard. They're legacies, guys, sons, nephews, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
They're all kin to each other somehow, some way. And it just matters more to us because we're not handpicking these kids from all across the state. These are our boys that are playing for our school, and
their
it just matters more.
Well, and Jamie, too, about Coach Rogers. Billy Pilcher and I have talked about this. When Ed Pilcher arrived here in 1990, it was just the right guy at the right place at the right time. And I think that we've kind of checked those boxes here with Justin Rogers, too.
Absolutely. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
When I went to the meet and greet we had at the cafeteria that night, I was so excited to see who our next coach was, and he said all the right things, and it was different.
Yeah.
And when I went to that first spring game, when we went to Perry the first time, we couldn't get out of the quarter quick enough for me to start making phone calls and telling folks it's different.
Yeah.
And they'd say, well, what's different? And I said, I don't know, but it's different.
Yeah.
We got something. It's just different.
Well, as good a head coach as Coach Rogers is, and he said this and mentioned it, the assistant coaching staff that is working under him is doing a phenomenal job. Each position group is coached up so well and so confident in what they're doing, and it reflects.
Yeah.
When they step on the field, they are ready to go, and there's no questioning. And the other part of that equation, if there is a mistake made, you don't see people pointing fingers at each other. They're pointing fingers at themselves.
Yeah.
And when you've got high school students and high school players doing that, you got something special. Justin Quigg asks, His senior year was when we went to state in 2002. Does this year feel the same or different? I'll be honest with you. I think in 2002, we all felt like that was going to be a state championship type team. I mean, Eric Walden had proven how good he was. We were 5 years removed from the state championship in '97. There was still that tradition in the air. You know what I mean? It was kind of a carryover, and you just expected it. Well, now that we've gone 21 years, here's what's hard to believe. The first state championship came in 1993. The high school had existed 33 years before that happened. 92. The high school had existed 33 years before that happened. It's been 27 years since our last one. So the hunger and the excitement and everything that was at the beginning of the 90s is firmly rooted in what we're experiencing right now. And that's part of the most satisfying thing about this to me, guys, is that the younger generations that have not been able, like Brian, I mean, I'm going to use you as an example.
I was in the first grade.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the younger generations that have heard about it over and over and over, and all us old guys that have talked about the glory days. Well, they're getting a little taste of it, Jamie, and it's very special.
Yep.
And it breeds more than school pride; it breeds community pride.
Absolutely. Remember my brother playing for a state championship as a senior.
Yep.
With Joe Burns and Ray Torrey and all that bunch, and of course he's been texting me, and man, it looks like we're going to be back there, and I said, man, the team's really, really good. And I think that's what Coach Rogers is probably seeing. And they not only have they done a phenomenal job of keeping our kids engaged, but I think that hunger that you're seeing is back. Like you said, it's our guys. I'm sure that down deep they probably are tired,
right?
But there's a hunger to get that one last bite of that apple.
That next step.
Yeah.
Well, and Jamie, let me say this. I think our fan base and our program got a little taste of that before the run in the 90s with the 86 and 87 teams. When Charlie Ward was here, Charlie Jr. was the quarterback, we all felt that there were state championship talent potential on those teams. It just didn't quite happen. But the taste had been planted.
Yep.
And it never went away. David Kress said, don't forget about the classes of 84 and 85 with the guys that went in the NFL and won Super Bowl rings, too. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Again, how many other schools can claim that sort of thing?
Danny Copeland.
Yep. And Myron Guyton.
Yep.
Anything else, Brian, that you got over here?
Well, Chris White asked me if I told anybody at Thanksgiving to get you some of that, if I liked it. And Chris White, hear me right now, that sweet tater pie was legit. I said, Mama, get you some of that.
There you go, right there. And I want to thank Everfan, my former student Scott Chastain, who's doing Everfan down there on Clay Street. The Santa hats here are something they are selling. Now, these are pretty cool. They're embroidered with the TC and the jackets. And let me thank our sponsors again. CNS Next, offering internet speeds up to 1 gig, traditional phone, television, telecom services, your proud local service provider. Curls Land Development, Site Prep, Ponds, Land Clearing, Mulching. Matt Mills, big yellow jacket, and I thank him for helping us out with this. 221-2291. Good folks. Grayson Tootin, y'all know Grayson?
Absolutely.
Next Gen Window Tinting, 692-9393, 692-9393. And Lewis Insurance, Jason Lewis, home, business, or vehicle, hometown folks, they're for you.
And Jason, just part of that that jacket hood bunch that we tailgate with. I'm going to tell you, there's a group of us guys that
I'm surprised that grass isn't 7 feet tall there because of all the fertilizer that has been spoken over that grass with you guys.
I wouldn't believe some of the conversations.
Oh, yes, I would.
But let me just tell you this.
Here we go.
We've been going to the state championships as a group of about 12 of us for the past 15 years.
That is awesome.
Together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like a brotherhood. We all know it's just crazy. And it's just crazy how much those guys love high school football.
Well, and Central Yellow Jacket football, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when we're not fortunate enough to be in the playoffs or deep in the playoffs, man, we're going to a game. We're setting it up on Monday. Y'all know how Jason can be about wanting to do something. So,
yeah.
And I'll just leave that right there.
Well, I mean, I get it.
But, Jason hits us up with a text, and, man, here we go.
Yeah,
here we go, man.
Brian, anything else over there?
Yes, everybody is so gracious with the comments and telling me, we appreciate, all the nice compliments and stuff. Everybody talking about how they love to listen to us and all this kind of stuff. And I'm telling you, we got between the two, we've got over 200 people listening to us right now, and that's awesome. We appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. And Billy Pilcher on here, and of course, you know, he commented earlier about the heart of the champion, and that it keeps coming back up because of the it's so cool now that we talk about it.
Yeah,
because I see what it felt like back in the '90s and how important it was, and now it is set.
Yeah. Well, and that's the good thing about this is Thomas County Central ain't going anywhere, Jamie.
No, and I just want to bring up one more thing is I went all the way through those championship years as a fan, not doing radio broadcast or anything. I sat in those stands, and I've never ever heard what I've been hearing.
Yeah,
with the
fan support,
it's unbelievable.
It is. It is.
My hat's off to everybody. It's been tough these last couple of years with the inflation and going to these football games. We completely took over Rome 5 hours from home.
Yep.
Okay, that was unbelievable. Then we turn right back around and we go take over Marist.
Yep.
That 3.5, 4 hours from home.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything like it.
Yeah.
It's got to drive the coaches nuts on the other side of the field.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when you hear or see the home coaches complaining about the noise level in their stadium, I've never seen that in a high school stadium before.
Oh, and Ivy and I, she was talking about how loud.
That's his fiance, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry, lady in second. But no, it's how loud it is compared to when you go to the swamp or go to Doak, go to wherever. In a high school setting, it is so unusual that it's that loud.
Yeah, it is.
And it's become something special.
It's become a point of pride for our fan base.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they know they've got an active role in what's happening on that field.
Big time.
And that is, for a high school, that is extremely unusual.
When you have fans from the other teams middle ways through the week saying, we don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And it sounded like an angry beehive.
It sounded like a swarm.
So,
yeah. Well,
whatever y'all doing, y'all just keep doing it. I hope it's so loud in the bins.
Well, that noise ain't going anywhere. That's the thing about it.
It's going to recirc in there. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to open the camera top up there.
Well, and I want to thank all of the fans that check us out on Friday nights on the radio. It has been a joy the last couple of years. Of course, it's been a joy for the last 37 for me. I mean, it's just a point of pride. But it's a part of so many people in the communities Friday nights in the fall and on into the winter to be able to tune that radio into WTUF and check us out. And a lot of folks, again, it does my heart good when you hear from guys in the military who are across the world that say, we turn that live stream on to the radio broadcast, I can close my eyes and I'm back home. Pretty cool.
Brian Gibson is tuned in from Alaska.
Yeah.
And then we've got, what's our fan that's down in the Gulf on oil rig?
Oh my gosh! And I'm losing. I cannot remember the name right now. But yeah, there is
he's coming. He's coming to Atlanta.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
thank goodness.
I mean, and that's the kind of thing that's so unusual.
Oh yeah, and right now again we've got 7 buses that are full of fans, and there will be apparently, from what I've been told, more because they're trying to find companies that have buses available. We could easily have 10 or more. By the time we get to Tuesday.
That'll be incredible.
Brandon Spivey.
That's it, Brandon Spivey.
And hey, thank you. I mean, that is awesome.
Well, we had that thing that Lori Lawing from the high school did back in the season where she asked, where are you guys listening? Yeah. And it literally was on other than Africa and South America, every continent was represented. We had warships out in the Indian Ocean. We had Brandon 350 miles out in the middle of the Gulf. People everywhere that are listening, and not all of them alumni of the high school, just people that have picked up on our broadcast and enjoy listening to it just because it's a lot of fun.
And I see Uncle James Farley up there. I remember old James Farley.
I remember James Farley too. Well, I think that's Obadiah. I think that's Obadiah. But he's related to James. Yeah, James was a hitter.
Yes, sir.
Back in the 90s.
I love it.
If you've got any other questions or anything, go ahead and send them on. We're going to wrap up here in a minute. We'll try to get any questions that you guys have got. I will tell you now, I've had people asking, what do I do? Because your radio live stream is so far ahead of the video stream. Everybody has been sharing today about a thing called MyTuner, which is a radio app. And I've also had people say that you can go to the WTUF radio website and do the live stream and pause it. You can start it and pause it, and then let the video catch up to where you were on the radio live stream. Then you put them together and they're synced together. Pretty good idea. Never thought about that.
Absolutely.
Ashley Saul said, it sent a message, it sent it to you, but since we're going through your Facebook page, just talking about how these kids are different because, number one, they're so humble.
Yeah.
How they play for each other, and how that's how they win is because they it's a brotherhood.
Yeah.
There's no me. It's all about what I can do for my Yellow Jackets.
Well, and let me say this. I think part of that goes back to these kids have seen the lowest of the low and the highest of the high. If you go back to the Benedictine game 2 years ago, when we walk out of that stadium, we've lost 59-0. The worst loss that this program has ever had. Every one of us were, again, about as low as we could get. And then it's like a light bulb. When Coach Rogers arrived, it's like a light bulb came on. And he was able to feed that. And they understand we've been through adversity. We've been through success. The only people that can take care of us continuing to move forward is us.
Yep.
And that responsibility, they're carrying it. And that, again, for a high school program, it's very unusual.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The difference is night
Night and day. All right, guys, I think we are about to get ready to get out of here, unless you got something else.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, like we thought, everybody loves it, and they're trying to figure out a way how we can make this a staple.
Well, we're going to do it again next week.
Yeah.
I promise we're going to do it again next week. One way or another, win or lose, we will come in and we're going to do a wrap-up and review the game and let you guys, again, have a voice with your comments. And we'll get Coach Rogers again. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to jump in here. This has been fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think we've been needing to do this a long time. Y'all should do something similar with a call-in show with the Rose City War.
Well, let me do this before I go any further. I want to thank Casey Massey.
Absolutely.
Casey Massey, every bit of this is Casey Massey. Casey is the tech guy who takes care of our live stream stuff, former student out of the broadcasting department. I taught him everything he knows.
And some.
I didn't teach him everything I know. I taught him everything he knows.
Okay.
But he's the guru who made all this happen. We will do this again next Thursday evening, 7 o'clock. So go ahead and put that on your schedules. Thanks to everybody on YouTube who's checked us out, all the hundreds of people on Facebook as well. We will post this and people will be able to access and watch it after the fact. You can share it as much as you want to. And my goodness, guys, looking forward to Tuesday.
Absolutely. I just want to say thank you for some of the former players that
Yeah.
played for Colin Charles Reese. Awesome, man. Good to hear from you.
No doubt.
It's real.
Three things to remember before we go. Foldable horns, try to get them in. The worst thing that happens is they tell them you got to leave them outside. Well, guess what? They make them every day. Amazon has them available. If you lose a horn, I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Second thing, if you would like to donate Gatorade snacks and stuff, please do. They need all the donations they can get. They love the Gatorade packets. They can mix with bottled water and things like that. And the third and biggest thing,
Be there.
let's be there and let's go Jackets. We are here, baby, and let's fill that place. It holds 80. Let's bring 81.
I agree.
Wow.
Again, we want to thank.
I'd like to hear that. I
We
don't
wanna-
know if I can handle it.
We want to thank CNS Next for sponsoring this program here tonight. Again, offering internet speeds up to 1 gig. CNS, your proud local service provider. Curls Land Development, Prep Ponds Land Clearing Mulching. Contact Matt Mills, huge Yellow Jacket supporter. 221-2291. Next Gen Window Tinting. Grayson Tootin. Again, it sounds like he's just part of the family.
And he's going to be part of the family. I love Grayson.
Yellow Jacket through and through.
Absolutely.
692-9393 if you need your windows tinted. And Jason Lewis at Lewis Insurance. Again, hometown folks for business, home, or vehicle.
Old Lou Dog.
Anything else before we get out of here, guys?
Go Jackets.
Go Jackets.
Amen. We will see you and talk to you Tuesday evening. If you're going to the game, you can bring your radio with you and tune in inside the stadium. I'll give you a little inside secret. Now, some folks know this, some folks don't. Jamie is listening to us on a small low power FM transmitter inside the stadium on 88.5 FM. It's 88.5 in the stadium. Now, don't try to do that here in Thomasville. Now, that's not going to work. But if you're inside the stadium, if you've got a headset with you, it's 88.5. Now, don't try to use an app to listen because there will be a delay. But if you've got a radio, a legit radio that has a headset or something of the sort, and headphones, you'll be able to listen on 88.5 anywhere inside that dome. And, of course, we will be on the air about 6 o'clock or so. The game is scheduled to start at 7. The tailgate show this week on WTUF 106.3 will start about 4:30. It's going to be a little bit longer than normal. We're anticipating some delays. We don't know that. Kickoff will be at 7 o'clock, and it will be on Georgia Public Television. So if you have a television, you'll be able to watch it.
And the good thing about listening on 88.5 is we have downtime.
Oh, my gosh.
During the commercials, and you get all the backstory. And we got to be careful.
Yes, we do. And sometimes
the backstory, and it's comical.
we forget that everybody can hear us.
But I found out how to pronounce a name because.
Well, you forgot what now?
To pronounce names.
Yes,
and stuff like that.
Yes, we've had some great
Well,
mispronunciations.
trust me, it happens to the best of us.
It's
So,
true.
Yeah.
It is true. It is true. So, folks, again, thank y'all so much. And we will see you Tuesday in the Dome. If we don't see you there, we'll see you on the radio. And until then, this is Randy Young for Brian Davis and Jamie Majors. Go Jackets.